Hello everyone, this is Chirip Goswami and today I'm going to tell you about the Azure Storage Platform. So let's get started. So before we start, let's start with the introduction part, that is what is Azure Storage basically. We all know that Azure Storage Platform is a Microsoft Cloud Storage solution for modern data storage scenarios. Like for example, core storage services offer a massive scalable object to store data, files and the messages. So now why will you rely on this? Because it is durable, that is the next slide, that is durable, secure, scalable and manageable and accessible. So let's get started with the first one, that is durable. And why? It's highly available because it ensures this type of why it is durable and highly available, because it ensures that our data is safe in the event of transition hardware failures. Even if one data center fails, the other data center works and they replicate the number of data into different types of storage. So now let's come to the secure point. Why it is secure? Because all the data which is written to an Azure storage account is encrypted to a particular service, and Azure storage provides you with a fine-grained control over who has access to your data. That doesn't mean that everyone can access to your data. Specific people have the specific amount of control among the data. And why we call it a scalable? Because Azure storage is designed to be massively scalable to meet the data storage and the performance need to today's application, whatever the applications which are released today. And why it is accessible to all the regions? Because data in Azure storage is accessible from anywhere around the world over the HTTP and the HTTPS. Or more precisely, we can say that Microsoft provides client libraries for the Azure storage in a variety of languages, including Net.java, Node, Node.js, Python, PHP, etc., etc. So let's get started about the types of storage services. The first one is the Azure Blob. The second one is the Azure Files. Third is Azure Quiz. And the last one is the Azure Tables. So what is basically Azure Blob? It is the unstructured data, or we can say like whatever the what we can store any number of any quality of files out there. For example, music videos, files, any kind of file, music videos, pictures, we store in this Azure Blob. Or we can say that we can store heavy files, we can make it in a public, we can share among everyone, we can put it out here. That is called Azure Blob. The second one is the Azure Files. Basically this is for the sharing among the multiple in VMs. For example, a particular tool which is used by the different companies, then we share a particular file in Pune, for example, that is being used in the other parts as well, in Bangalore or in Chennai. So what we do is we send a link to that link, and that in that link that particular tool is created, present out there, and from there everyone can use that tool by sharing the link. The third one is Azure Queues. So out here, I want to explain this with an example of with a mobile commerce app, that is Paytm. Everyone uses Paytm nowadays, and so many applications and so many pending requests are being sent in a particular one go. That means that whenever we do any Paytm request, there's thousands of requests are pending before it. So one by one, the transactions happen, and out here, this is called Azure Queue. It stores the information out there max to max for 7 days, and the maximum size of the information can be till be of 64 KB. And the last one is Azure Tables. Basically, this is structured and there is no SQL data, and this is used by the huge companies, the large companies, to maintain a proper name and address and everything. So let's come to the Azure storage account. So what does it mean storage account means? This means that it is integration for the blob and the queue of the data, and the Azure storage supports the authentication and the authorization with the Azure add for the blob and queue. We call it an Azure RBAC. And the second one is the Azure with the shared key. That is, it is the storage blob files queue support by authorization with a shared key. And the last one is authorization using shared access signatures. In short, we call SAS. This means it is this means it is a string containing a security token that can be appended to the URI for a storage resource. This thing is an encryption. There are two types of encryption. The first one is encryption at rest, and the other one is a client-side encryption. This encryption at rest means this Azure storage automatically encrypts all the data prior to persisting to the storage account and decrypts it prior to retrieval. And the encryption, the process, the encryption, the decryption, and the key management process are transparent to the users. So this is a very good advantage of it. And the last one is the client-side encryption. This means that the client library provider, this provide a method for the encrypting data from the client library before sending it to across the wire and decrypting the response. So this is the function of the client-side encryption. So, and as I previously described, what is redundancy? This means that Azure Storage stores multiple copies of our data, whatever the data we have kept in the data center. They keep a number of copies so that if one data center fails, we can access it from the other data center. And this transfer data from to and from the Azure storage. This means that the article, this means that it also linked with the recommended options depending on the network bandwidth, to our environment, the size of the data, what kind of transfer we want to do. And these are the kind of transfer we do basically, that is data consideration, as in the data size, transfer frequency, and the network. So these are the three things, like depending on what we are doing. So as you stood the price, about the price, there is no upfront cost, no termination fees, or rather we should say that pay for the service that only we are using. So basically, whatever the services which we are using, you pay for that itself. There is no upfront cost, and then there is no termination cost or something like that. So that's all for today. I hope you like my video. Thank you so much.